Thank you.
The Honourable Nikki Kaye.
Mr Chair, I'm very pleased to speak in this appropriation debate. This is my first day as Minister of Education, and I want to start by just acknowledging my predecessor, the Honourable Nikki Kaye. It is very important to acknowledge her. Every single year that we have been in government, we have increased vote education, and she won that hard-fought cash in the middle of a global financial recession. The numbers, regardless of what some people may be saying in terms of funding, $8 billion to $11 billion. In terms of operational grant funding, we've seen the numbers go up a third. In a range of areas, special education funding has doubled. That doesn't mean we don't have challenges, and I look forward to working with many members in this House around some of those challenges, but we certainly have increased vote education, and in some areas very significantly. I want to take you through some of the big areas of reform and why they're important in terms of our results as a nation. We know that education can be the difference between a young person ending up in prison or ending up in a great job. And what we saw when we first came in was not only a huge number of schools at an infrastructure level, old, cold and leaky. We've undertaken the largest ever capital infrastructure program in this nation's history. We're now spending $5 billion. We're spending a third more than over the Labor government in that period to ensure that our infrastructure is world class. This matters for learning because it does matter in terms of the environment that teachers and young people are in. So that's a very significant achievement. In terms of raising achievement and raising the quality of teaching, I just want to walk you through that. It is about results. We totally understand that people will have different philosophical views on this, but ultimately, if young people are not able to read and write and do maths, we know from all of the statistics, their chances of succeeding in a modern economy are much reduced. And what the facts are is that under this government, we now have more than 85% of young people leaving school with NCEA Level 2 or equivalent, which is a massive lift. It's over 10.9%. That is thousands more kids that are leaving school with that qualification. In terms of Māori and Pacific achievement, I want to just touch on the comments that Chris Hipkins made. It does matter. It really does matter, the fact that we've seen in some instances 15 to 18% increase in achievement in terms of these young people leaving school without a qualification. We now have thousands more Māori and Pacific kids leaving school with a qualification. That's a very dramatic lift, but we have more to do, and I want to talk about where we have more to do. Right across New Zealand, and we've heard from the opposition, not all of them were supportive around communities of learning. The facts are that 500,000 children now are in a community of learning. The facts are that we are working through with those communities of learning around their achievement challenges, and I think it's a really positive development for New Zealand that we have groups of schools, rather than having a very competitive model, working together, looking at what are the numeracy and literacy issues, looking at areas like special education. And as Minister of Education, I will have the job of endorsing some of those achievement challenges. But the whole point is we now have better data than ever before and a more collaborative system to be able to help more children, whether it's in, as Catherine Delahunty has mentioned, in the area of additional learning support, special education, or whether it's around numeracy and literacy. So there's a huge amount that's been done there. In terms of the quality of our teachers, we know, and Mr Hipkins mentioned PISA, we know one of the most significant things that we can do is to improve the quality of our teachers. And I want to acknowledge the Honourable Nikki Kaye, the establishment of the Education Council. That is crucial for teachers to be leading that debate around a number of these areas, whether it's professional development, whether it's the qualifications that are required to practice. And I'm really proud of the fact that we are having discussions with the Education Council in terms of professional development. The priorities are much clearer now. So, there are very clear priorities around things like digital fluency, but also numeracy and literacy. So there's a lot of work going on. Under our government, we're spending more, we're seeing greater results, but there are challenges that lie ahead. And as Minister, I am really looking forward to the next couple of months. We do have some potentially big decisions ahead of us. We've got a budget that will be coming through. But I want to finish by saying, and I will have other calls, it's an absolute privilege to be Minister of Education. I look forward to working with many teachers and principals across New Zealand.
I call Tracy Martin.